Hey there folks, Wrel here. I feel that some of the best, most memorable, and even successful games are the ones who give a sense of power to the player, maybe even something that allows us to fill a void within our own lives. For competitive shooters, by killing players or by topping the scoreboard, you can show others that you're better than them and you can rub your little e-winky in each other's faces and it's a grand old time, and I know, because I've seen me do it. For role-playing games like the Mass Effect series, the power is derived from a couple of different places. Commander Shepard is an inspiring character who does things that no one else would ever dream of, or perhaps even want to. Since you are Commander Shepard, her actions can be interpreted as your actions, as you make decisions, command a crew, and set off on an adventure as the galaxy's last hope. Then you've also got Shepard's crew, Garrus, Liara, Rex, Tali, all characters who may not be all that powerful starting out, but as they grow, they get to be on your same level, and you get the sort of feedback loop because you surround yourself with the right kind of individuals, people who support your cause and ideals. Works the same way in real life, but we'll get to that. And then you have the intimate relationships that develop between different characters. A storybook romance isn't something that many of us will ever see in real life, because even if we're with the right kind of person, being romantic can oftentimes come off as corny because it's real life. Real life doesn't give us the same bonds, the same situations that take place in a fantasy world. And fantasy worlds also don't adhere to the same societal structures and norms that we have to deal with. So not necessarily power, but it definitely fulfills a desire. There are some games with a heavy emphasis on power fantasies. Bulletstorm is one of them. You have hundreds of mindless people to waylay, and though this is a very common theme in games because we do need something to shoot at, the game is less about killing the bad guys, reaching the objective, progressing the story, and more about just how many cool and ridiculous ways that you can kill your enemies. Sometimes though, games can give you the wrong kind of power, a sort of parasitic power that only is gained by taking something away from others. The game Hatred is honestly the only example that comes to mind, and it's an extreme example at that, but it creates this type of power without the need of a community behind it. More often, it's the players themselves who facilitate this parasitic relationship. Competitive games can lean this direction when the community becomes caustic and unwelcoming, and the obvious examples here are League of Legends, Call of Duty, games of that sort. This solely comes down to the community level, which says a lot about where we stand as a society. In-game, you can get away with being a horrible person so long as you don't get banned. But real life has consequences. You'll see parasitic power relationships from time to time in real life, like the boss who makes you stay after hours just because he doesn't like you, or people who are stuck in an abusive relationship. But the abusers don't usually get very far in their lives or their careers because you can only take so much from people before you start making a whole lot of enemies, at least if things are publicized. That generates a bad reputation for yourself, and it's all downhill from there. Generating power within your own life comes from first shedding negative influences. Imagine if competitive games didn't have horrible communities. You'd probably find it a lot easier to enjoy. Likewise, you probably have that one friend who keeps you from being productive because they want somebody to be lazy with. Or you have that one friend who tells you that your ideas suck, that they aren't realistic, just because they have no motivations or desires of their own. Beyond shedding negative influences, you also want to surround yourself with positive influences, or a better peer group. This is similar to Commander Shepard having a reliable crew. She isn't babysitting anyone, and neither should you, at least not all the time. Have at least one peer who is above you, like a mentor, another peer who is below you, as in somebody who wants to learn from you, and others around your same level. People who share the same interests and have the same desires and motivations. The old adage of, you're only as good as the company you keep, holds true in a lot of different ways. Lastly, do powerful things. Namely, read more, go places, and inspire others. We are shaped by our experiences, so if you aren't constantly learning and constantly doing, there isn't much growth. And you'll notice that growth is how a lot of these games impart that sense of power on the player, be it by starting out weak and then becoming strong, or starting with no relationship and then having a great one toward the end of it all. It's the same in our lives, which is one of the reasons why I think we identify with these themes so strongly. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and if you have any thoughts on power as it relates to our games and our society, go ahead, leave those thoughts in the comment section down below. Thanks very much, folks. Wrel signing off.